First of all, the simple tense is also classified into three. The past simple tense, the present simple tense, and the future simple tense, which is judged by the degree of occurrence about how close the point in time is with the present. As the tense reveals the gap between the present when the speaker states the clause to the listeners and the point in time when the definition of the verb actualizes in the will of Jesus Christ determines whether the clause is stated in the past simple tense, the present simple tense, or the future simple tense. The form of the verb in the clause stated in the future tense does not reveal the tense. What of the adverbs? The modal verb will is applied to reveal the expectation of the speaker at the present for an experience, a condition, or an action in the future. You can also understand that the form of the verb reveals the certainty of the actualization from the definition of the verb. The past simple tense signifies that the definition of the verb actualized at a point in the past compared to the present when the speaker says the clause with a specific form of the verb. The form of the verb that is applied in the clause stated in the present simple tense is considered the original form of the verb. So we can understand that the form of the verb ate that is suitable to be applied in the clause stated in the past simple tense is an applied form. There is a clause, I ate a bowl of salad. The form of the transitive verb ate reveals that the speaker at the present who states this clause in the conversation with the listeners at the present actualized the action indicated by the transitive verb eat in the past. The point in the past when the speaker actualized the action from the definition of the transitive verb eat, and the present is revealed with the form of the transitive verb ate. The form of the general verb that is applied in a clause stated in the past simple tense is constant with every subject. This is because the speaker focuses on the definition of the general verb. The past point in time is the time when the conversation between the speaker and the listeners did not happen. So we can also understand that the statement about the past is mentioned at the present because the speaker considers that the experience, condition, or action in the past is important at the present. So we can understand that the speaker focuses on the definition of the verb when the speaker states a clause for a past experience, condition, or action. The information about the subject revealed by the form of the verb is helpful for the listeners to hear the clause from the speaker at the present and prioritize the clause because the listeners collect the various information from various clauses in the conversation. The be verb describes the existence of the subject at first. The fact that the existence of a subject in the past is mentioned at the present means that the subject is important at the present. The two forms of the be verb was and were reveal the information about the number of the subject or subject. The definition of the be verb to describe the existence of the subject delivers the very basic and essential intent of the speaker. So we can understand that the numerical information about the subject advocate to reveal the importance of the subject and justify the reason for the statement. The speaker does not reveal the information of the subject in the form of the verb. This unified form of the verb with every subject is comparable with the clause stated in the present simple tense. The clause stated in the present tense is about the present, when the speaker and the listeners have a conversation. So the speaker reveals the correlation between the subject of the clause and the participant in the conversation because the speaker cares for the listeners who may accept numerous information from numerous clauses. The speaker reveals the information of the subject in the form of the verb. The form of the verb stays in the original form when the clause is on the priority among the listeners. The form of the verb that is deviated from the original form may connote the listeners to recognize the intent of the speaker who note that the subject is not a participant. We can consider the reason why the speaker differentiates the form of the verb while we think of this situation. For example, there is a homeroom teacher and there are students who are hearing from the homeroom teacher. The homeroom teacher tells a story about a student in the classroom who is the participant in the conversation with the homeroom teacher as the speaker and the students as the listeners. And there is the other case. The homeroom teacher can tell a story about a student who is outside of the classroom. The students in the classroom as the listeners can be okay about being less attentive than the first situation. About one of the students as the listeners. The present simple tense signifies that the definition of the verb actualizes at the same time. With the present, when the speaker says the clause with the original form or the converted form of the verb to reveal the number of the subject and whether the subject is a participant in the conversation with the speaker.